We're going to go ahead and begin class. So if everyone wants to find a comfortable seated position near the front of their mat, maybe crisscross applesauce, maybe seated on your shins. Close your eyes, bring your hands to rest on your thighs. Palms facing up in a position of openness, receiving, or grounded down in a position of groundedness. And start to get in touch with body and breath. Notice the natural rhythm of your breath. What words would you use to describe your breathing? As you bring more attention to it, I invite you to deepen that breath into the low belly. Taking longer, bigger sips of air down the midline of the body into your low belly so that it expands out like a balloon filling with air. Hold it at the top every time you reach the base of that breath. And then slowly allow the breath to leak back out the nose, keeping a little constriction in the back of the throat so that your breath makes the noise of a wave crashing against the shore, that gentle noise. This diaphragmatic breath will ask your nervous system to relax. It'll also invite an opportunity for more presence, activating the prefrontal cortex, the area of your brain that's responsible for more creativity, innovation, problem solving, and empathy towards others. In our breath, we learn to work with our emotions. We don't ignore them or stuff them or pretend like they don't matter. We interact with their sometimes overwhelmingness in a way that almost reparents them. This higher brain steps in and says, it's not logic or emotion, it's both. We work together at all times. We're present with every aspect of ourself, including uncomfortable emotion. Today we're going to explore balance and groundedness in our flow. Rooting down, working with that wobbliness instead of against it. The goal being not to wobble, or not to not wobble, but to use the wobble as an invitation for challenge and growth. Take one last deep sip of air down into your low belly. Let it expand like a balloon towards the front of the room. Hold it for 3, 2, 1, and exhale. On your next inhale, I invite you to take your hands out to your side and then inhale to lift them up overhead. Bringing the palms together and then draw them down to your heart, bowing chin to chest. Set an intention for your flow. Where in your life could you use more balance? Could you use more groundedness? Use this practice as a metaphor. Every time that we enter into a balance challenge, imagine yourself working with this intention, this energy. Inhale, lift the hands up overhead. And exhale, spread the fingers, draw the elbows down to your sides, squeezing the shoulder blades together. Inhale, lift. And exhale, roll the wrists all the way down. We're gonna roll up over the knees, coming into an all fours position. Wrists underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Find a little bit of fluidity in the spine here, moving away. It feels good for you. Maybe you go through a couple rounds of cat-cow, reaching through that upper back, and then allowing the belly to collapse down towards the mat. And then find stillness. We're going to take our gaze to our left as we swing our hips to our right, and then find center, and then exhale, go ahead and swing the other direction. Balance through the spine, protecting the low back the entire time. One more each side. Moving with the breath, and then inhaling back to center. Take the knees out wide, the big toes together. Sink your tailbone onto your heels as you reach the fingertips out in front of you. Bow the forehead into the mat. Rock it side to side. Release any tension in the muscles of the face. Inhale in through the nose. Exhale, walk the hands over to the right side of the room. Take the left hand, place it over the right. Big stretch through the side body. Send a big breath down that side. And exhale. Let it go. Inhale back to center. Exhale over to the other side. Place the right hand over the left this time. Stretch through the right side body. Deep breath in, let it run down that side. Fill every little muscle fiber. Exhale. Sink a little bit deeper into the stretch. Inhale back to center. Reach forward one more time. And then roll up one vertebrae at a time, once again, taking the knees directly underneath the hips and the hands beneath the shoulders. Flip your toes into the earth, lift the knees, and then press your heart towards your upper thighs. You can begin to pedal out the feet here in your first downward facing dog of class. Feel that nice big stretch run through each leg, each calf. And then feel that strength in the shoulders, lengthen the spine. Make sure your fingers are spread wide. You can go ahead and stop that pedal. Reach your tailbone up towards the sky another inch, and then allow the heels to fall closer to the earth as you press your heart towards your upper thighs. Deep breath in. Exhale out. If you have the strength, you can follow me by taking your weight into your left hand and taking the right hand, reaching towards that left ankle. Open up, look underneath that armpit, and then go ahead and find center once again. Now we take the weight into the right as we take the left fingertips, reach towards the right ankle, look under the right armpit. Find center. Slowly walk the hands towards the feet and release the heart onto the upper thighs. Heel toe the feet a little bit wider than hip width, keeping the toes facing forward. And grab opposite elbows, ragdoll pose. Let the heart, head, shoulders, neck laying heavy out in front of you. Counterbalanced by the weight in your heels. Maybe you take a little rock back and forth here. Continue to breathe. And then find stillness. Allow the fingertips to rest down to the ground. Heel toe the feet back to center together. And then inhale, lift the heart parallel with the ground for halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, circle sweep, leading with the heart, nice and slow. Bring the palms together. Exhale the hands to heart center. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Walk the hands to the front of your mat, finding plank pose. And then release your shins in the top of your feet. Align your heart forward, keeping the elbows tight to the body. Exhale, release the heart down to the ground. Release the tops of the feet. Inhale, use your core, use your back to peel up off the mat. Maybe hover the hands, baby cobra. Exhale, melt forward. Press your weight back, flip your toes and your tailbone up, and adjust your downward facing dog. Tailbone inches up, heels. Go a little bit closer down to the earth with gravity. Slowly walk your toes towards your wrists at the front of the mat and release into a forward fold. The feet should be together. Inhale halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, circle sweep, leading with the heart. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Plant the hands, hop or step back to a plank. You can use the first Vinyasa edition that we did, or you can follow with me. Moving through chaturanga, keeping the elbows tight to the body, but we hover the thighs, slipping onto the tops of the feet. Lift your heart, upward facing dog. And then exhale, flip the toes and the tailbone back, downward facing dog. Walk your hands back towards your toes at the back of your mat. Make sure the feet are together. Heart onto thighs. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, circle sweep all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Walk your hands to the front of your mat, find plank. Exhale down through chaturanga. Upward facing dog. And downward facing dog. Take a breath here. Inch your tailbone up. Allow the heels to drop. Press your heart towards your upper thighs. Inhale, the left heel reaches towards the sky. And then point the toe, open the hip, single leg dog. Exhale, pull that through between the hands into a low lunge. And then walk that back leg in a couple of inches so you have a nice straight front leg. Hands walk up to the upper thigh, reach the heart out in front of that big toe. Little stretch for the hamstring. Try to square your hips forward. And then inhale, reach the heart all the way up. Reach the hands. Exhale, step forward to the front of your mat. We're going to move into tree pose to begin our balance flow. Taking our weight into our left leg, we're going to move the right toe to either anchor down into the ground, taking the knee out, move it up to the ankle, below the knee, or tuck into the inner upper thigh. Press that knee out and open. Find a place to fix your gaze. If you'd like to challenge your balance even more, there's a few options for you. You can close the eyes. Watch how that introduces challenge and growth. Or you can raise the hands above the head or even open the branches up, keeping good posture all the while. Whatever feels right, good, needed for you today. Remember, the wobble is meant to be there. It's important. Wherever you are, you can go ahead and reverse in, so lift the hands up. For those of you with hands lifted, go ahead and bring them back down to heart center. We're going to remove the foot, but without placing down, we're going to press it out in front of us. Take the left hand to the left hip, and then take the right hand to the inside of the knee and open up. Flex the foot, open the hip here. One more deep breath in. Exhale. Gently guide it back to center. Press it down. Lift the hands up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, plant the hands, hop or step back to plank, and move through one vinyasa. Meeting in downward facing dog. Switching sides. As we inhale, we lift the right heel up, and then point the toe, open the hip, single leg dog. Exhale, pull it through between the hands. Walk the left leg in a few inches. Straighten the front leg, square the hips. Walk the hands up to the upper thigh. Reach the heart out towards that big toe. Big stretch through the back of the leg. Breathe here. Some prep work. Ground into that front foot. All four corners. Inhale, we lift the hands up. Exhale, step to the front of your mat. Grounding into the right leg. We're going to move into tree pose on the other side. So remember, you can either anchor the toe down, bring the foot right above the ankle, below the knee, or tuck it into the inner thigh. Repeat whatever you did on the last side. Find a place to fix your gaze. And breathe. This side is a bit more challenging for me. And that's good, that's okay. Remember, you can adjust your arms however you'd like. You can lift them up overhead. Open them up into branches. Maybe you stay at heart center, but you close your eyes. No matter where you are, stay in good posture. Continue to breathe. And be present with your wobble. Remember your metaphor. One more deep breath in. And then we reverse the arms all the way up and then exhale to heart center. If you can, without touching down, we're going to flex that foot out in front of us, 90 degrees. We're going to take the right hand to the right hip, the left hand to the inside of that knee, and then lift out. A little stretch for the hips. Flex the foot. Deep breath in. Exhale, release. Gently guide it back to center. Set it down. Inhale, lift the hands. Exhale, bow. Plant the hands. Hop or step back to plank. Move through one vinyasa. Meeting in downward facing dog. Breathe here. Take your weight into your right hand. Take your left hand to your right ankle. Look under the right armpit. Find center. Moving to the other side, weight into the left hand, right hand to left ankle. Look under your armpit. Find center. Notice any changes in stability. And breathe. Inhale, left heel rises. Point the toe, open the hip, single leg dog. Exhale, pull through between the hands into a low lunge. And then inhale, rise to high lunge. Slight bend in the back knee, aligning the pelvis underneath. And then we're gonna bring the hands to heart center as we slowly kick up off that back leg and find warrior three. Hips stay squared. Hinge comes from the heart. Little bend in the front knee. Square that pinky toe down. Inhale, hinge forward. Lift the hands. Exhale, bow. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, hands meet the mat, hop, step, or jump. One Vinyasa. Meeting in downward facing dog. Inhale, right heel lifts. Point the toe, open the hip, single leg dog. Exhale, pull through between the hands. Inhale, reach to high lunge. Little bend in the back knee. Exhale, hands to the heart. Kick up off that back leg. Find warrior three. Keep that hip squared down. Flex your toes. Heart comes parallel. Breathe. Slowly hinge forward. Inhale, reach. Exhale, bow. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, hands meet the mat, hop, step, or jump. One Vinyasa. Downward facing dog. Slowly walk your toes towards your wrists at the front of your mat. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, circle sweep all the way up. Exhale, hands to the heart. Find your breath. Feel your feet root down to the earth. Find silence, calm. As we root into the left foot, the right knee lifts up, and then we're going to step it over so that our legs cross. Slowly, we begin to hinge. You should feel a big stretch on the outside of your left leg. Breathe into this. T-band stretch. Heart reaching out, fold coming from the hip. Inhale, lift through the heart. Untangle the legs. Root into the right foot. left knee reaches up. Step it over to the other side. Begin your bow. Big stretch on the outside of the right leg. Reach your heart out in front of you. Good posture, deep breaths. Take note of any imbalances between the sides. Inhale, begin to hinge. Untangle the feet. Heel toe the feet out until your toes hit the edges of your mat, your heels slightly in. We're going to reach the hands up overhead, engage the core. And as you exhale, you're going to open those knees up, taking the elbows to the inside. Now, if this is a struggle for you, this is why I've given you a block. You can take your block and place it directly underneath of your tailbone. At whatever length and height feels good for you. Trying to practice opening through the ankles, the inner thighs, while keeping an upright position through the rest of your body. Play around. If you need to take the feet a little wider, then that's okay. But the goal is to keep the chest lifted, the feet grounded, as much as possible. This is Malasana pose, garland pose. And the benefits here are many. Sitting in this pose for at least 2 minutes a day will help with hip function, core function, it'll help with back pain, ankle mobility, knee pain, so many benefits. Even in the modified version with the block. It's a way to get a little bit closer all the time. One more deep breath in. Exhale. Take the fingertips down, lift. Heel toe the feet in and bow. We're slowly going to release the shins down, rolling to one side, and then coming to lay on our backs. We're going to use the block one more time, so please have it handy. Feet come hip width apart with the knees towards the sky. The glute should be about 6 inches or so away from the heels. And we're going to lift the hips towards the sky as we take that block and place it underneath the tailbone. Should help put your back in a really comfortable position so that it can just kind of rest there. Your hands can either ground down to the earth, or you can take them out into cactus above. Whatever feels good, right, and true to you today. Allow your pelvis, your low back, and your hips to release here. Your hands are above your head. Go ahead and move them down to your sides. Lift your hips, remove the block. And windshield wiper the legs a little bit here, side to side. Releasing any little bits of tension. And then invite you to take your heels to the wide edges of your mat. Maybe you have a couple more little bits of tension to shake out here, that's okay. And then allow your arms to move down your sides, your shoulder blades scooch down. Take a big deep breath in and relax on your exhale into final Shavasana. I invite you to spend the final moments of today's class sinking into your mat, melting into the floor, becoming one. Groundedness. Be the foundation. Big deep breath in. And exhale. Sink a little deeper. Take one last deep inhale in through your nose. Send it all the way down into your feet. And then exhale, slowly allow that breath to leak out, leaving behind only light. Say thank you to yourself for showing up today. For giving your body the gift of movement, the gift of mindfulness and meditation. As you begin to waken the body, maybe you give a little wiggle to the fingers or toes. Maybe you do a big stretch in opposite directions. Whenever you do, invite in some movement. And as you feel ready and led, go ahead and turn to one side, stacking the knees. Take your top hand, ground it into the earth, and press yourself up. Thank you for joining me today. It's been my honor to serve as your instructor. We will not be having class this Thursday. However, the room is open in case you guys want to do a video instead. But I appreciate your presence, and I hope you have a good one. Namaste.